Best 4K Monitors 2019. The top Ultra HD monitors and displays. Subscribe our channel for more videos. More detailed review and prices is in description. For the longest time, 4K monitors were held as the golden ideal of computing, but nowadays, even some of the best 4K monitors are attainable for all. 1. LG 27UD88W. Screen size 27-inch, aspect ratio 16:9, resolution 3840 by 2160, brightness 350 candelas per square meter, response time 5 milliseconds, contrast ratio 5:1, color support 99% sRGB. When you're looking for the best 4K monitor, you want to find something that's affordable, but also has fantastic picture quality. It's a balance that's pretty rare, but the LG 27UD88W hits it out of the park. Not only does this panel cover 99% of the sRGB color space, but it does so with an insane contrast ratio and a response time to display the best PC games as they should be seen. The best part? It does all this while maintaining a reasonable price tag. If you have the horsepower to drive the LG 27UD88W, you should pick it up. 2. Philips Brilliance 328p. Screen size 31.5-inch, aspect ratio 16:9, resolution 3840 by 2160, brightness 300 candelas per square meter, response time 4 milliseconds, contrast ratio 3000:1, color support 1.07 billion. As both 4K panels and HDR technology become more ubiquitous, we're starting to see more affordable monitors take on the market, and the Philips Brilliance 328p does just that. This 4K monitor combines a 4K VA panel with decent HDR performance at a price point that won't force you to break open the piggy bank. Its brightness doesn't quite reach its lofty HDR 600 rating, but at this price, it's hard to complain. The Philips Brilliance 328p really is one of the best 4K monitors out there. 3. LG Ultrafine 24MD 4KL. Screen size 24 inches, aspect ratio 16:9, resolution 3840 by 2160, brightness 540 candelas per square meter, response time 14 milliseconds, contrast ratio 1200:1, color support 1.07 billion. 4K fans will find a lot to love in the LG Ultrafine 24MD 4KL, especially if they're photographers or videographers who need all that prime real estate and high resolution. From its 4K resolution and color accuracy, to its plethora of USB-C and Thunderbolt 3 ports and buttonless design, this 4K display is the perfect match for your Mac or Ultrabook. And, despite those bizarrely thick bezels and high price tag, this display might be hard to resist. 4. BenQ PD2700U. Screen size 27-inch, aspect ratio 16:9, resolution 3840 by 2160, brightness 350 candelas per square meter, response time 5 milliseconds, contrast ratio 1300:1, color support 1.07 billion. If you're on the market for one of the best 4K monitors for everyday computing and productivity, without all the fancy bells and whistles, you'll want the BenQ PD2700U. This monitor doesn't feature fancy quantum.tech or adaptive sync, it doesn't even have USB-C input. But, when you get the BenQ PD2700U, you are getting a lot of pixels, which is all you really need. It's not the cheapest 4K monitor on this list, but it's color accurate, has plenty of desktop real estate, and will comfortably fit in any office environment. 5. Monoprice 27 inches 4K UHD. Screen size 27-inch, aspect ratio 16:9, resolution 3840 by 2160, brightness 350 candelas per square meter, response time 5 milliseconds, contrast ratio 10,000:1, color support 1.07 billion. You may not have heard of Monoprice, but this brand is behind some of the most affordable monitors out there right now. Its ultra-slim aluminum monitor, for example, is hailed for its sleek, ultra-thin bezel design and ultra-wide viewing angles at 178 degrees. This monitor isn't particularly feature-rich, there are no built-in speakers, for example, but its IPS panel allows for extremely sharp image, FreeSync tech reduces screen tearing and Monoprice's Pixel Perfect guarantee gives it vibrant color performance. Plus, with 2 DisplayPorts and 2 HDMI ports, there's plenty of connectivity on offer. 6. Asus ROG Swift PG2700U. Screen size 27-inch, aspect ratio 16:9, resolution 3840 by 2160, brightness 1000 candelas per square meter, peak response time 4 milliseconds, contrast ratio 1000:1, 5000:1 HDR, color support 99% Adobe RGB. While 4K monitors are becoming more and more common, even without particularly powerful hardware, we still run into the kind of monitor that changes everything. The Asus ROG Swift PG2700U is one of these. Asus has managed to craft a 4K gaming monitor with HDR and the kind of color support you see in professional displays, and render that all at 144 Hz with G-Sync no less. There are only a few monitors out there that packs as many features as this Asus screen, and that's why it's one of the best 4K monitors. But keep in mind, you're going to have to pay for something this advanced, and we mean pay. 7. Benq ex3203r. Screen size 27-inch, aspect ratio 16:9, resolution 3840 by 2160, brightness 300 candelas per square meter, response time 5 milliseconds, contrast ratio 1000:1, color support 1.07 billion. If you're looking for a 4K monitor for gaming, Benq ex3203r is the perfect fit. It is not without quirks, the screen brightness could be higher, the red on black trim is an acquired taste, and it has no built-in speakers. On the other hand, you get amazing picture quality, quick response time, accurate color performance, multiple ports, and a versatile stand for multiple viewing angle options. Its most notable feature is AMD FreeSync to prevent tearing and ensure that your games are running smoothly. Of course, the picture-in-picture and picture-by-picture modes are also helpful because who doesn't multitask nowadays? 8. AOC U2879VF. Screen size 28-inch, aspect ratio 16:9, resolution 3840 by 2160, brightness 300 candelas per square meter, response time 1 millisecond, contrast ratio 1000:1, color support 1.07 billion. IPS displays may offer better viewing angles and color representation, but a good TN panel makes for a much better gaming monitor, thanks to much faster response times, higher refresh rates and affordability. This is why the AOC U2879VF has a 1 millisecond response time and a refresh rate of 144 Hz refresh rate for a low price. If you can forgive the restricted viewing angles, the occasional flickering at 144 Hz, the absence of a USB port, and the ho-hum color performance, this AMD FreeSync-enabled monitor is for you. 9. Acer Predator X27. Screen size 27-inch, aspect ratio 16:9, resolution 3840 by 2160, brightness 1000 candelas per square meter, peak response time 4 milliseconds, contrast ratio 1000:1, color support 16.7 million. If you have an absolute beast of a gaming computer, think 2 NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti's in Schlee, and you need a monitor that can keep up, you might want to take a look at the Acer Predator X27. Not only is it a 27-inch 4K monitor with HDR, but it also has a refresh rate of a whopping 144 Hz. If you have the horsepower, you can play games in 4K competitively without losing an edge to the person playing in 1080p. But, as you may expect from a spec sheet like this, it's very expensive, but if you need the tech, it's definitely there. 10. LG 43UD79B. Screen size 42.51 inch, aspect ratio 16:9, resolution 3840 by 2160, brightness 350 candelas per square meter, response time 5 milliseconds, contrast ratio 1000 to 1, color support 1.07 billion. You'll need a bigger desk with 43UD79B's hefty 42-inch screen. Unfortunately, this bigger-than-life screen might also be darker around the edges and a sluggish refresh rate. However, this 4K monitor's other features will more than make up for its flaws. The screen split software, for one, allows for a range of screen configurations. This, coupled with its 4 HDMI inputs, a DisplayPort 1.2 port, and a USB-C port, will let you effortlessly run multiple devices at once. Along with its true IPS screen, color-rich display, and FreeSync compatibility, you might just be getting a bargain.